once upon a time, in a faraway land called Washington Heights. Say it so it doesn't disappear.
Washington Heights!
Lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grate at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning.
Hey, y'all, good morning.
Ice cold piragua, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got my mate.
It's a story of a block that was disappearing.
The genius is back!
Yo, here's your chance, ask her out right now. Hey!
There's something on your shirt.
Smooth operator, all damn.
In the film, Usnavi has a photo of him and his dad that he looks at every morning that from the Dominican Republic. And he says to himself, best days of my life. I was wondering, do you have a photo or personal item that whenever you look at it, it brings up a great memory from your life?
You know, I am a collector of old things for myself in my life. I have boxes of, you know, the first piece of card that I wrote, like when I went to college for the first day and met my first friends and wrote their numbers down. I just like put it in a box. I'm not a hoarder, but I am, a specific hoarder for certain memories. I have my first camera. I have my first movie was on film, Step Up to the Street. So I had them print the first 24 frames and I keep it on my desk to remind myself, like, these are the first frames where my dream came true. I have my first camera, Super 8 camera in the corner over there. I have my first video card that I got when I was editing videos, wedding videos and stuff, because they do know that our lives are stories and that we are constantly forgetting the past and but that is building towards the future. I think is something that we always need to remember.
I have an album of photos that I keep of my family from Cuba, and when we left Cuba, and even now, I just saw my 96-year-old mother, and I definitely cherish those little mementos.
Yeah.
That absolutely. My godmother, I have a picture of her who's always very supportive, and they definitely give me energy. They, I take from everything and everyone I can to just, prop me up.
So Sue, every time I see that, I get this flashback of memories of my childhood, because my immigration process was opposite. We went to go live in Puerto Rico when I was a youngster, and it's like American culture and time stopped on so many levels. Yeah. And I had to immerse myself in going to school and trying to figure out what my identity was really. But as an adult, everything that I am, that I think about with regards to music and my culture and how it informs me as an artist comes back when I see this.
Yeah, I think the photo of me as a child, when I see pictures of me as a child, I think it's when I was most free.
Yeah.
Then, the experiences come along, and then you start getting the memories. So me, like in early childhood years. Yeah.
I have a bunch. Yeah, go. You go.
I'd probably say just like any picture of myself, like Dascha said, like early childhood. I think like ones where it's like me and my family, and just like seeing the interactions in the photos to get like the togetherness. It's nice.
Yeah, simpler times.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the opposite of that. I didn't have that many pictures growing up, but pictures with my family, particularly my son, just watching him grow up, and pictures of us on vacation with the greater family.
Right.
Those are, yeah.
We all had a sueñito. And when it came to dreams, we had to keep scraping by.
Maybe this neighborhood's changing forever. Maybe tonight is our last night together, however.
I just want to see the whole world through her eyes.
Well, I know even though the film is, visually entertaining and fun, it also has some serious elements to it, like racism and the Dream Act. And I was wondering, how do you hope this movie impacts audiences?
Well, I hope it starts a conversation of, especially with all the social issues that we've been dealing with recently.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect medium for people to see it and to feel it. And, it's a musical, but that they can really see how people, human beings are going through these struggles, and I hope it starts a conversation in this country that we desperately need. And I think Quiara Alegria, Hudes, the writer, did an amazing job making it more current, because the play didn't really have those elements, but we need to make it current, and that's what we're dealing with in this country right now. So, I hope that people take this very seriously, and even though it's singing and dancing and there's a lot of joy and there's a lot of light and happiness, there are some very important themes that the movie touches upon.
I write about people. That's always been my biggest curiosity in the world, is like, what makes people tick? And so to me, I didn't write about racism and DACA. I wrote about Nina Rosario and Sonny, and the things, their joys and their struggles that they've faced. And I hope that by grounding those kind of hot button topics in just real lived experiences by people that might look like your cousin or your neighbor down the block or your classmate at school or your coworker at the job, that it helps remind us, like, okay, we are not headline news. We are human beings going through real experiences. And, if we go through them in isolation, we have failed to a certain extent. If we go through them together, it's better.
They're talking about kicking out all the dreamers. It's time to make some noise.
We had to assert our dignity in small ways. Little details that tell the world we are not invisible.
This is the moment when you do better than me, because you can see a future that I can't.
But we rap for people, and then we go.
You made all of this?
This is me.
In the film, Nina likes to hear the sound of her block, and that's what calms her down and when she's stressed out and upset. And I was just wondering, what's something for you guys that brings you back down when you're stressed out or upset?
That's a great question. I think for me, having been away from home for so long, since I graduated high school, I left Mexico. And so for me, hearing my mom's voice always is like soothing. I know that whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm feeling stressed, I just call her, and just hearing her voice calms me down.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Is it weird if I say food? Like, there's a certain dish that reminds me of my grandma's, like rice pudding. And like, I just I think food is a trigger to remind you of home too. So like that for me.
That's good too. Yeah, I will say that together. Like, I know when I go home, a lot of my family is either in New York or in Florida. When I go home, my grandma's in Florida now, and hearing her, she get up so early in the morning, 5 a.m, to start cooking. So getting up in the morning, just hearing her downstairs in the kitchen way too early, making something, is always just like,
Oh, I like to walk, and walking is my favorite activity. And in fact, like, I live in Washington Heights. That is where my home is. And I love walking around these blocks. And one of the cool things about the neighborhood is there's all this natural beauty that's kind of spectacular, because it's these dramatic bedrock cliffs over the Hudson River. So I can walk in the parks and feel like I'm in the middle of wilderness, or I can walk up and down Amsterdam Avenue. I can walk up and down Dykeman. And it's just people living their lives loud out on the sidewalk. And I can just feel the energy of my neighbors. And so to have the choice to do either of those, both of those calm me tremendously.
Well, I'm really lucky. We have a house upstate, and we go up there, and yeah, just listening to the birds, the nature, water, wind.
Yeah, that's good.
I probably have to say just like being alone with like my thoughts and just like listening to music.
Yeah.
Like just being there and listening to music and just kind of like laying in bed and just relaxing.
That's good. That's good.
I like a nice shower or bath and organizing things. Well, first I organize things and then I do that. That's really relaxing for me.
I think music does that for me. I do think pictures and the keepsakes that I keep around. I'm definitely, like I said, a collector of stuff. And so I feel like that point in the movie where she listens to her block, I love that, because that's what I do. Even I didn't even grow up in Washington Heights. I grew up in Northern California, but those sounds and those smells bring me right back. I think that's actually, when Quiara and I were sort of breaking the script a lot, that's something that came up, of this idea that I was in a transition point in my life. I was just getting married, thinking about kids. In fact, I had my first child right before we started shooting the movie, and this idea that my past of having of growing up was so wonderful and beautiful, and that now I'm an adult. And those things are all gone. It made me very sad that our past just disappears all the time. But this idea when I had a child was like, oh, no, it comes back. I get to relive. I get to show them DuckTales and Animaniacs, and I get to show them how to edit a video and watch them learn. And our best days are ahead of us. That idea in this movie was very personal to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, congratulations too on that.
Thank you. I had a baby actually during the shooting of this movie that I named him Heights, because I loved this neighborhood, that it made you dream about things that were beyond your window, and I wanted to say that word every day of my life, and I wanted my little boy to hear that word every day of life. So his name is Heights.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know they're wrapping me up, but I have to ask one quick last question, because this film was my first screening back in theaters, and it blew me away. Like, I hadn't seen a movie in theaters like this in so long. I had to control myself not dancing in the aisles. And it was just the perfect film to remind you how important it is to watch movies in the theater. And I know this past year and like 2 months, we've had to watch a lot of movies at home. And I was wondering, what is something you watched this past year that you wish you saw on the big screen?
Oh, that's a good one. I wish I saw Hamilton on the big screen, of course. Yeah. Because like you, I think the shared experience of everybody coming together with your friends, your family, and total strangers, and to watch something that shakes the core of what you think the world is, and then to have a conversation after at dinner or at drinks, and then continue and then pull your other friends in to go see that movie. That is unlike any medium in the world. Yeah. And I just believe, I love streaming, but I also believe that cinema has a place in this. And I think a movie like Crazy Rich Asians, I think a movie like In the Heights has a place that AT&T, Warner Brothers is going to put millions of dollars into telling the world that these people are worth your time, your money, your space. They have value to pay attention to, and you know what? They're aspirational, that you want to be like these people. To me, that no other medium quite puts it on the map like that. And so that's why I defend the cinema experience, and I'm excited that people get to go back and live this movie if they've got their vaccinations and feel safe to go see it in a movie amongst everybody. And I love it that it's Washington Heights, the place that have gone through struggles, that know how to get back up again because through family and community, that they're the ones that are going to tell the world how to get back up and get back to life.
Oh. I mean, I could have in select theaters, but not really. Tenet.
Yeah.
That's a really
I
good
would have saw
one.
Tenet. Could have saw Tenet in a cinema.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah.
Tenet. I would say Tenet too. Yeah.
Did y'all watch it at home?
I watched it at home.
I had to watch it at home, unfortunately, but Still great, but
Yeah,
it was still great, but you know, all those whatever you call it, the magnetic moments and all that. I mean, there's so much going on in there.
Right. Melissa, did you have one?
I mean, I can't think of, you know, something that there are some movies they're okay if you have like a big screen in your house,
yeah,
like a big enough TV, you're like, oh, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a movie like our movie, like In the Heights, that you know is meant to be seen on the big screen. You know, like the numbers are so big that it just it makes you want, like, I feel like if you see it at home, you're gonna want to go and see it again in a theater just because you understand the enormity and the spectacle of it. And I can't remember if I saw a movie in the last year that felt like that, you know. And I'm happy that you feel that way. And so many other people have told us that it was their first movie back at a press screening and that they loved it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's so important for people to understand that going to the movie theaters is important, because if we don't go to the movie theaters, then eventually the streamers are going to take over. And it's fine. We have the access to watch everything at home, but it's not the same, you know, and we need to go to the theaters so that they, you know, stay alive. Right. And that when we want to have an event or a date or a night out to go see a certain movie, that we have that, you know, the ability to do so. So it's important to, you know, and I think right now people miss going to the theaters. People miss that community event. So I hope that they show up and that we keep supporting our local theaters.
Cheers. This is crazy. Best days of my life. And I built my little dream, my sueñito. Here, in Washington Heights.